The problem is that the financial consequences of each negative interaction or incident that is taking place, they're paying a bigger price. That needs to be acknowledged.
Less than 4 seconds is also late for most customers. You need to get information like this.
Here's the paradox that leadership needs to understand. Even though the companies are trying their level best to reduce the frequency of bad experiences like the one that you had with the bank, the problem still exists. The problem is that the financial consequences of each negative interaction or incident that is taking place, they're paying a bigger price.
True.
That needs to be acknowledged.
That's actually very true. I mean, just talking about what you said, I think it becomes this vicious cycle.
Exactly.
Right? Because of poor customer experience, a customer leaves, then you have the cost of acquiring additional customers. And then, it becomes a vicious cycle where you're spending more and more and you see less and less ROI because of this churn. But
Exactly. And I don't know about your tolerance level, but in general, what we've noticed is overall the customer tolerance level is going down. And it's very difficult to find that out unless you double click on those matters.
I just want to pick up on the patience level, right? I mean, we talk about attention deficit disorder.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, these days, if you see a loading icon going around more than 4 times, most users or customers will say, hey, this is not working. Right? So the tolerance level has reduced so much. So even from a technology perspective, we are working so hard to reduce the time that a user has to wait in almost every interaction.
Right.
I mean, a less than 4 second is also late for most customers. You need to get information like this.
No, that's true. But I think it's also possible. That's a nice thing. It's also possible now. Because I was thinking back even to my own situation. Just imagine if I could describe what I wanted. And based on the description, it could have just directed me to the right department. Why do I have to jump through all those hoops? And the most frustrating is the IVR systems that we have, because they have standard buckets, right? You know what it's like. Press 1 if you want this, press 2 if you want this. And it goes on to, they actually go up to like 8 different buckets. And interestingly, most of the time, the problem that you have doesn't fall into any of those buckets. Right?
Yeah.
And then you say, no, I want to speak to an agent. And then it says, for us to transfer to the right agent, please tell us more about your problem. So that's a good thing now. We can actually solve a lot of this with technology.
Yeah, and like our CMO Anand says, this should actually be considered as a malpractice, right? That a user has to listen to so much options and then choose one. I mean, in the age of AI, there should be so much natural language adoption, technology adoption, right? So you should be able to talk about what you want, and the system should be able to respond and provide the resolution almost near instantly.
Right.
Yeah.
So from a technology perspective, what would you say are the 2 core things that we can do to address customer dissatisfaction?
I think involving AI definitely is the case because, see, one is about availability of customer service. We still see many organizations talk about, hey, our customer service helplines are open during business hours, Monday to Friday or Monday to Saturday. But with the advent of AI, it's available 24/7, right? So I think we should, all the organizations servicing customers should focus on getting AI to solve for some of these problems. It's about availability. It's about having your best agents in the front line. And it's also about evolving quickly. right? Because it also brings down the training timelines compared to human agents.
But that's a good talk. But what would you say about speed and clarity?
Yeah, I mean, imagine that a customer service agent has to, let's say, cancel your order. The first thing that the agent has to do is to look at, let's say, a system to figure out whether you are a customer or not. That's the first level of validation, right? And then the agent has to go to another system and see what are the orders that you have placed. Then they need to look at, the shipping status. It could be in a logistics portal. So they've got to look at these 3 or 4 or 5 different systems and then be able to respond to you. Now, with the advent of AI and technology, it's able to connect to all these systems almost instantly, get the information, analyze what needs to be done, and take that action also immediately. It can quickly decide that the order has not been shipped yet, so it can confidently cancel your order. Or if it has been shipped, it can respond to the customer saying, we've shipped your order, but that's okay. When you get it, you just file for a return, right? I mean, you just book a return and we are done. So that's the speed and that's the clarity, because we're not stopping at saying, we've already shipped the order, we can't do anything. We are saying that it's okay. That's not a dead end. This is how we can resolve. So we are providing clarity, and that's important for customers.
And that makes perfect sense. So I would say clarity is the other half of the equation, correct? It's simple, simple guidelines, simple language, zero jargons
Yep.
that are being used. I would say clarity is the difference where you're letting your customer know that your ticket has been resolved by following the best practices as guidelines. And here's exactly what we did. Here's how we resolved the issue. The most important thing is when you are giving clarity to your customer in terms of what had happened, why it happened, they feel that their anxiety level dropped and they feel respected. So I think giving clarity is extremely important.
That's true. And I think there's the other aspect of clarity, which I would say is transparency. And what I mean by transparency is, let's say, for example, the customer has a shipment that they're waiting for them to know where exactly it was, right? Because that kind of reduces anxiety, because otherwise it's like, what's happening? Where is it? I mean, I like the way, Amazon and some of the others do it, where you can actually, I still remember you get updates like they're 10 stops away.
Yeah.
It goes down to that level of detail, and that makes a difference. It makes a huge difference for customers.